We move over to Ghana, where Ghana's parliament has approved a new tax on electronic transactions known as the e-Levy. The bill will introduce a 1.5% tax on electronic money transfers, which the government says will help raise $900 million and widen the country's tax revenue to $1.15 billion in 2022. Bernard Asherde, Deputy Editor at Business and Financial Times Ghana, joins us now to discuss this. Hello, Bernard. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Now, the e-Levy had been a subject of controversy, and some lawmakers have described the bill as unfair and represents yet another burden for the Ghanaian people. How are Ghanaians reacting to this news?
Well, to be honest, Ghanaians are not happy. But as a people, we've taken it in our strides. The bill was announced way back in November, and the government was hoping to pass the bill that same November. Usually, when the budget is read, within a couple of weeks or a month, the budget is approved and appropriation bills are passed. But this is the first time in a long time that we've seen budget read, and then they had to now pick bits and pieces of the budget to approve, and then its accompanying appropriation bills passed, simply because the opposition was vehemently against the bill, and that has dragged on and on and on and on until this month, a couple of days ago, when the parliament finally was able to pass the bill. But even that, the minority walked out on parliament, and so it was just the majority that passed the bill. And so yes, that's where we are. So we are obviously very divided as a country on this, but I can also tell you that sentiment from the ground shows that majority of Ghanaians are against the bill because they see the government as wasting resources, and so because they are constantly wasting resources, they now have to find new ways to raise more revenue to plug the hole. But then this bill really is not one that is not a levy that is seen as a levy on income, but it's just a levy on transfer of money. Meanwhile, this is also a government that has constantly pushed a digitization agenda to that, look, we have to move everyone into the financial sector, either through mobile money or through the banking system. And so introducing this bill really defeats that purpose. So that's where we are as a nation. I can tell you for a fact that majority of Ghanaians are against this levy.
Okay, so talking about Ghanaians being unhappy about the levy, but one of the problems the government highlighted that the e-Levy will solve is that of unemployment. How do you think this will work?
So there are a couple of initiatives that the government introduced recently. One of them is called U-Start. U-Start is a government initiative that seeks to empower young entrepreneurs, give them financial backing, and not just financial backing, but technical know-how in order to boost their businesses. So, for example, if you are a local business producing, for example, soap, and you have just about 5 employees, the government sees that as an opportunity and then gets you enrolled onto the U-Start program, where they take you through training, extensive capacity building, and then they give you financial support to scale up aggressively to, say, let's say 100 employees, where you are producing. If you are used to produce 10 boxes a day, you can now be producing the boxes in the thousands, and then they will increase your market access as well and stuff like that. So this is one of the major reasons the government insists that they have to pass they introduce this levy so they can raise enough revenue to support projects like this. We are yet to see, and because the bill has not been passed, the U-Start project has also not started. We can only hope that now that the bill is passed, we are waiting its presidential assent, we'll be able to raise the required revenue to support initiatives like this, because really, for the past 2-3 years, the government has been making it clear that the public sector is choked. There's no way employment by the public sector can happen. And so they can only come in as an enabler for businesses to grow by supporting younger entrepreneurs to scale up and then employ more Ghanaians.
So while we wait for the U-Start project to kick off, how is the bond market reacting to this?
The bond market has been muted. Actually, since last year, the yields have been going up. And so that really has been a significant drain on government resources. And because ever since the introduction of the levy, I can tell you, even investors don't trust that this levy is going to help solve all the problems that we claim we have, And so there has been some level of distrust on the part of investors, and they have been dumping bonds. That has really skyrocketed the rates and really put a significant strain on government resources. And that also fed into the city facing some challenges in the first quarter. Inflation has also been on the rise. And it has been exacerbated by the Russia-Ukraine crisis, or the war, as some others would want to put it. And so really, we are in a precarious situation, and that we can really only hope that now that the bill is passed, we will raise the required revenue. The government has also promised to inject some $2 billion to support their local currency. From where they're going to get the money from, we still don't know. They're saying that it could come from our reserves, or they're saying that they could secure some new additional loans from the international market. What usually happens is that every year in the first quarter, we tend to go to the Eurobond market. That hasn't happened this year because of where yields and interest rates are. And so if you go in the Eurobond market right now, you are lucky to even get those bonds in at around 10% on the dollar, and that's mighty steep. And so the government hasn't been able to go there. And so it's been trying to mobilize resources locally. And one of those is the e-Levy. And so we can only hope that things will come back, the curve will come back to where we expect it to be. But that could be later on in the year.
Thank you so much, Bernard, for sharing your thoughts with us and coming on the program. Bernard Ashadi, Deputy Editor at Business and Financial Times Ghana. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Welcome.